Hey guys, this is Allie with iMore, and today we're going to take a look at Keynote for iPhone and iPad. We're going to take a look at it on iPad. It's going to be pretty much the same for iPhone as well. So basically, there's not too much new, but we're going to take a look at the new features as well as just a general overview of the application altogether. So basically, if you go back to the main screen, you're going to have some options here. You're going to see all your presentations that sync with iCloud. You can click into them, or you can go to create a new presentation. If you create a new presentation, you're going to get an option of several templates, themes that you can choose from. So you can click into any one of these, and it's going to create that template based off of what it thinks you're trying to do or what template you're choosing. I'm going to actually go back and go into a slideshow I already created. And what you can do here is down here is where you're going to want to add slides. So if I wanted to add a slide in here, I can tap this key and I can choose from any of these types of slide. Title slides with images, blank slides, bulleted point slides, etc. So I can tab through those, choose one, and edit there. I can also move slides around by holding my finger on them and just dragging them in the position I want. Once I'm in a slide, say I want to edit an element in this slide, I can tap that, and then I can go up here to the format brush, and I can choose from different items in here. This is pretty much the same as numbers. If you're familiar with numbers, you're going to be very familiar with this layout on iOS. It's pretty much the same. So I can go in, I can edit chart options such as the font type, text size, I can turn on and off the title, I can add bevels, which I don't know if you'll be able to tell in the video. What it does is it bevels this out. I can actually change the depth of this chart, which is kind of nice if you're, especially for line graphs that are maybe a little harder to discern data in. So let's go to chart up here. And maybe we want this to be a different color. So I can just tap a different color and it's going to change it accordingly. I can also rotate this chart, and you can do this with images as well. I can also change the size of this chart. So I can go in here and drag the chart in and out. If you want to reposition it somewhere else, just drag your finger around to move it. You can also go in here and you can edit the data for this chart. So if you tap on the chart, you're going to get edit data. I can go in here and change these numbers around. I can change the region names, etc. So based on what type of data you have, you might have to go in here and do a little bit of tweaking to get the chart to show up just the way you want it. You've also got, you can plot rows as series or columns as series. So that's where you'd change that at. You can also animate charts. So you can build in, build out. So if you're familiar with using those features, whether PowerPoint or numbers or I guess Keynote, you'd be okay with that. You can also add obviously text. So if I wanted to edit this text, I could go and tap that text, and this format brush, what it does is it won't allow you to do anything if you don't have an element selected. So you'll have to select something, and then it brings up a menu based on the type of object you're trying to edit. So since I'm just trying to edit text, I can change these. I can also go into style options and I can change the fill color, border colors, effects. So basically for text it's going to give me different options than it would to edit a chart. So now we can take a look at what other features Keynote offers. So basically if you want to add an object, and let's go in here and add a blank slide. You can go up here to your insert object, and this is where you're going to be able to insert any kind of media, which would be anything from your camera roll or images that you have saved on your device. You can add basic tables, you can add charts, and you can add shapes. And you can see that they've got quite a few in here. So when you go to charts, you have quite a few colors and options to choose from. So say I want to add, I don't know, this type of chart. So I can go in here in this graph and I can edit it. And this is one of the graphs I was talking about that's really nice if you want to edit it to where it has a different depth. So I can go up here to the format brush again and chart options, and I can change this depth. And when you have a bunch of different data overlaying, sometimes this is nice, so then it's not all scrunched up together. So then I can actually rotate this and people will be able to see the differences instead of just having it, so that's a nice view right there to where you can actually see where it's going. If you had it straight or it was a 2D graph, it might be hard to see if you have a bunch of different lines in data. Say I had 7 different blocks of data instead of just 2. That would be a little bit confusing for people to read. So other than that, there's not too much new in this version of Keynote, but for those of you that aren't familiar, this is going to be your navigation over here. Over in the top right is going to be what you're going to use to format and basically work with your presentation. So you've got your format brush, you've got your insert object. Your settings is where you're going to add transitions. So I can tap a transition and you're going to see that I don't have one right here right now. So I can actually go ahead and add a blinds transition. It'll let you preview it and go to the next slide. So say that's the one I want. Done. You can also add them to the rest of these slides as well, and I believe there's an option to apply to all if you'd like. Other settings under here, share and print. You can email your presentation, you can print it. If you are viewing it from iCloud on the web, you can download it as, I believe, a native Keynote file, a PDF, and a PowerPoint presentation. So those of you that are working back and forth with PowerPoint, you can do that as well. They give you the option to share it via iWork and iDisk. I wouldn't recommend doing that since these services are going to be discontinued this summer, so I'd probably stay away from that. Your last formatting icon up here is your play button. So basically, if you're playing a presentation and you'd like to end that and go back into edit it, all you're going to do is take 2 fingers and pinch it, and it'll go right back into edit view. And you can tap play again, and it'll go right to there. And again, if you have custom transitions set up or times that you want them to fade in, fade out, it'll abide by that as well. I don't have any on this slide. I believe I just tap, and it goes straight through them. So I can actually just pinch to go back. So that's pretty much it for Keynote. If you guys have picked this up and you see anything new that I missed, or you have something else that you'd like to point out, let us know. Thanks, guys.